How y'all doing? Welcome back to the Real Life Testament. Shout out to all my real lifers out there. Please remember to like and subscribe to my channel and leave a comment if you got any questions when you make it to the end of this video. Now, today I want to discuss a little bit about some of my criminal life growing up. Like I said, I was in and out of jail, for constant burglaries and robberies and whatnot. And I remember back when I was about 15, I got sentenced to my first program. See, like in Florida, they have this thing for juveniles. It's almost sort of like a juvenile prison, but not. It's they have programs, level 4, level 6, level 8, and level 10. Level 4 is like 4 to 6 months. A level 6 is 6 to 9. A level 8 is 9 to 12, and a level 10 is 18 to 36 months. And I remember when I was about 15, I had a burglary case that I ended up going to jail for, and they gave me a suspended level 6. A suspended level 6 basically means if you get in trouble again, they're going to send you here. I'm already sentenced to that, but as long as I don't get in no trouble, I won't have to go. But of course, you know me, always the hothead, got in trouble for a burglary, ended up going to this level 6. It was in Pompano. It was called Pompano Substance Abuse Treatment Center, as a matter of fact. And I went there, like I said, when I was about 15. Now, like my first day, I was trying to get acclimated to the area, what I'm saying, figure out the ins and out, how it all works. And my first mindset was, I'm going to go in here and I'm going to do my little time and I'm going to go back home and it's going to be done. It didn't work like that. The second day came around. I remember I got into my first fight over the dumbest thing, too. I was, when I got there, I was trying to learn how to draw and all that stuff just to keep my mind off of where I'm at and try to get home. And so I was drawing, and my pencil, the lead on my pencil had gotten dull. So, I went to go use the pencil sharpener. And this kid saw me going up there, ran over to the pencil sharpener, and he just ran and put his pencil in and started sharpening real quick. So like I said, I'm trying to go home at this time. So like I asked him politely and real nice. I'm like, hey man, I know you saw me coming over here to use this pencil sharpener. Do you mind waiting to let me sharpen mine? He looked at me and was like, fuck you. So when he did that, I automatically snapped. I slapped him, first quarter, slapped him in his face. And when I slapped him, he had pushed me. Now, when he pushed me, there was like a chair behind me. So, like, I tripped over this chair. Now, the push wasn't that hard, but I tripped over the chair. Now, it made it look real bad because when I fell over the chair, you know how kids are. As soon as they see it, ooh, you gonna let him do you like that? And me being young and dumb at the time, I let them influence me. So I got back up off the ground, and the kid obviously didn't want to fight because he started running. But I ran right after him, beat this man up. I had him balled up on the sofa, beat him up real bad. They called me up to the front or whatever. I ended up catching 30 days on my second day there. So that's automatically another month that I have to do here. So you would think like, oh, maybe I'll change and try to do right and go home. No, I got worse, and I was just fighting and fighting and fighting, and it was so bad because the way this program was set up, it was like real segregated in a way. Like all the Spanish kids hang with the Spanish kids, all the black kids with the black kids, all the whites with the whites. So when I got there, like I said, I was so easily influenced because I was young and dumb. So after that first fight, I felt like, well, fuck it. You know what I mean? I'm already catching more time. I might as well do what I want to do. And there was this kid in there. It was a little Spanish kid. His name was Duran. And Durant, he used to steal a lot. And he used to steal from like everybody. He would steal the socks off your feet. You know what I'm saying? If you wasn't paying attention. So I used to see him steal. Like this is my first 2 days and I'm noticing this. So like my roommate, he was kind of like running things in a sense. as far as like the blacks go, if that makes sense. And I let him influence me into fighting this kid because I told him like I don't like him. He was like, "What, you want to fight him? You want to fight him? I'll set it up." So me trying not to look like I was soft or whatever, I let him set the fight up or whatever. Easy fight. Went in there, whooped him, had him balled up in the corner. It was easy, nothing to it. And then I ended up fighting again this other Spanish kid about a week after that. And after that, I fought this white kid. I can't remember his name right now. So basically, like I'm fighting this whole time, just fighting. But I'm not realizing like how that's affecting me in the long run. You know what I mean? And so I'm just catching more and more time. But I'm noticing like he's just trying to get me to fight so they can see something. So like they weren't actually trying to do any fighting. They just wanted me to do all the fighting. And I had to learn later on throughout there that this was not the way to go. So like I said, I caught all that extra time, and it took me a while to really realize like I need to go home. Like I'm just steady catching more and more time, more and more time. So long story short, I ended up getting out of that program in about 10 months with all the time that I had caught. So I don't even know how I got out that early, but by the grace of God, I got out. So I get out of my program. You would think like, oh, I've been to jail already. I'm going to get out and do right. Didn't happen. I got out, started back trying to sell weed and hustle and do all that nonsense that I was doing before I got locked up. Within a month, I was already back in jail with new charges. I had a possession of marijuana over 20 grams with intent to sell. So now I'm back in court, back in front of this judge, and they're like, you just came home. You obviously didn't learn anything. So we're probably going to end up sending you back to another program. So within this time span of me going back and forth to court, my dad had ended up getting killed. This was back in 2013. My dad had ended up getting killed. And that's another story within itself, by the way. I'll talk about that one day. So like I said, my dad had ended up getting killed. And so the court gave me a little bit of leniency to where I didn't have to wait in jail to go to this program. I got to go home on house arrest basically until they were ready to come pick me up. And I caught those charges in February of 2013. I didn't go to my second program, which was a level 8 program. Like I said, 9 to 12. I didn't go to that until January 1st of 2014. So basically New Year's, I had to turn myself in. So I go to this program with a completely different mindset on some like I'm just not finna let nobody influence me. I'm finna go home, finna do my time, stick to myself. And it worked out for the most part. Like I went in there and I just tried to do my own thing. But you can't get along with everybody. And it was this kid from Broward County. They called him Man Man. He was like one of my first fights in there. And again, I let somebody influence me into fighting him. And it kind of like set me back a little bit because it made me realize that, damn, you're doing the same thing you just said you weren't going to do. So, like I said, I ended up just trying to do my own thing and trying to just go home until I end up meeting Pierre. Y'all probably know him as Jack Boy, the rapper Jack Boy. And up until the time he came into my dorm, I was like, they called me a model client. Like I wasn't getting in no trouble. I didn't have no write-ups. I wasn't fighting because I wasn't letting people influence me. I had grew up. I had just turned 18 when I was in there. I was really on some stuff like I was trying to go home. You know what I mean? And then Pierre got there, and I remember the day I got my transition. The transition in a program is it's like they give you a release date, like 60 days from this date, you get to go home. And on the day I got my transition, we were sitting in the day room watching a movie, and we had these little bins like for like our hygiene and whatnot. And we used to like lay in these bins, with a blanket and pillow, whatever. And we had a new unit manager that came and was working on our unit or whatever. So he comes in and he sees all of these bins. So he's like, oh, put these bins up, put these bins up. So us like, man, fuck you. You know what I'm saying? We've been here all this time. You're not finna come over here and try to change nothing. You know what I mean? So he leaves for about 20 minutes. He comes back in. He's like, didn't I tell y'all? Don't worry about it. And he goes to the DVD player and he starts snatching all the cords out the DVD player, talking about y'all go to y'all rooms. We're not going to our rooms. You know what I'm saying? You gotta, well, to me at least, you got me fucked up. So at first, like, I'm looking at Pierre, and they're over there like they're trying to muscle him up, trying to get him into the room, and he's bucking. Bucking is basically like going against the rules, doing what you want to do, going against the system. So he's bucking. He's bucking hard. And so after they finally get him in his room, now it's time for me. And I'm like, I'm finna buck too. If I see him doing it, I'm gonna buck too. Again, let myself get influenced. So the unit manager, he's trying to get me in the room, but I'm not going. So somehow they all tackle me on the ground. Now we are up under a camera, like to where it's like a blind spot. You really can't see what's going on under this camera. This man was laying on top of me. He had his fingers around my throat, like to the point where it left scars. He was choking me, like he was grabbing my Adam's apple. And I was like, to the point where like I couldn't breathe. Like I was down there like, you know what I mean? Like really couldn't breathe. So like my only option was that fight or flight mentality. I ended up biting him. Because like I said, he was laying down on me. So when I bit him, like I just bit him and I wouldn't let him go. And I just shook like a dog. And when he finally got off me, like I had bit a hole through his shirt. His chest was bleeding. It was bad. They called me for an emergency treatment team, which is basically where I go talk to the case managers. They threatened to, call the police on me and give me a new charge and take away my release date and all that. So, like, I had to learn, like, I can't be doing this. You know what I'm saying? So, like I said, after that, I was still doing, like, bad things or, like, things I wasn't supposed to do. But I wasn't doing it on camera. Like, I was trying to be smarter than that. And so, like, I came home from there. I was off probation. Everything was cool. I got right back out and got back into the streets selling drugs. It's like it never changed. And I didn't learn nothing from it. 11 months later, I ended up getting shot. And I brought this story up because I wanted to show you like how easily you can be influenced. You know what I mean? Like a lot of times, like for like I've noticed with a lot of these kids, like they do things by association. You know what I mean? Like you do something because you see somebody else do it. So like I wanted to just bring this little brief story up. It's a lot more detail. I'll get into it one day. But I just wanted to bring this little story up to show you an example of how you can let somebody influence you to get back into trouble. Even when you're trying to change, the people around you affect that a lot. You know what I mean? Especially like if you're like a person like me, like a people pleaser, you just want to do what everybody else wants you to do so you can feel like you're somebody or feel like you're important. But I'm here today to tell you don't have to do that. You know what I'm saying? There's many of ways to do things in life without getting in trouble. You know what I mean? Like just because somebody tells you to do something and you might think it's cool, but if you know that it's going to result to something that you don't want to go through in the long run, like going to a program or getting shot, please don't do it. You know what I mean? Like, it's so much more out here to life than getting in trouble and selling drugs and breaking in houses and toting guns. Like, it's so much more to life. And when you get out here, you will realize that. And see, and where I messed up, I was so young, I didn't even get to experience what life really was. You know what I mean? By the time I turned 18, I got shot as soon as I turned 19. So I never got a chance to go out and experience life and, to have a family and to get married and all that good stuff. So I said all that to say this, like, again, my favorite thing to say is just really think about the choices y'all make out here because they can affect you in ways that you don't even expect. Growing up, I never would have thought that I would be in jail or anything of the sort. You know what I mean? And basically, I just want to send this message out to let y'all know that, like, you can do it. Don't ever let nobody tell you can't do something, and don't ever let nobody influence you into doing something that you know you shouldn't be doing. You know what I mean? And yeah, that's basically my message today. I just wanted to get that point across and just show you an example of how easy it is to get in trouble. And I really hope y'all learn from my mistakes, because I done made plenty. I done made enough for everybody watching this to not make none. You know what I mean? And basically just stay safe. You know what I mean? It's cool. Like I said, it's cool to go to school. It's cool to be the smart guy. It's cool to be different from the rest of the crowd. Yeah, it might look good when you see them out there driving in the nice cars and a pocket full of money, but that don't last long. My mother always told me growing up that the streets only lead to two places, and that's jail or hell. And that's two places you really don't want to be. I've already experienced jail and I've already experienced death. I just thank God that I didn't experience the hell part of it. You know what I mean? So for all the kids out there watching, really think about who you are around and surround yourself with people that are on a positive note. People that want to do something great with their lives. Not people that want to sit around and be in the streets all day, because there's more to it than that. It's so much more to it than that. And I thank y'all for listening. Like I said, it's the Real Life Testament. Shout out to all my real lifers out there. Please make sure y'all remember to like and subscribe. And if you have any questions or comments, anything you want to know, please leave it in the comments below. Thank y'all. Y'all have a great day.